On this episode of the 5P Podcast, I'm your host, Michael J. Penney, and sitting down with Mr. Mark Casper of tech4troops.org. Tech for Troops, an amazing organization which provides, let's say, underprivileged, let's say folks who are hitting the rocks, let's say, oh man, I need money and help and I'm struggling and I'm worried and need to actually do something about this. He helps those folks. All right, and we're going to hit on that throughout his mission. But if you are a veteran and you need tech in order to get yourself to level up to that next level, whatever the case may be, you need to check out tech4troops.org. Go to tech4troops.org, and you need to look up Mark Casper. So let's get rolling on this. Without further ado, welcome, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Michael. I appreciate this.
Absolutely. It's a privilege to be working with our fellow veteran supporters that are out there. Can you give people a little bit of a background as to how you started Tech for Troops?
Sure. No, well, I didn't start, but I actually was invited to be on the board. And when I walked in the door to take the tour to see if I wanted to be on the board, quite literally, my head exploded. And I'll just use the word God or karma or whatever you want to call it, but I say God. Told me I was home. And we had 750 square feet at the time. And I took the tour and the founder looked at me and said, do you want to be executive director? I was like, yeah. And I had a company, my own company, and I shut it down. I went home that night, told my wife what I was doing, I shut it down and came here full time. And now we have close to 7,000 square feet. So from October 2016 to today, we've grown by a couple of 1,000%.
That is amazing. Now, the mission and the focus here is what I'm really interested to get into. Folks, if you're familiar with the 5P podcast, we run through the 5P format, consider it a frago per episode, in order for these business leaders, such as Mark Casper at tech4troops.org, to be able to get their mission out there. But here's where it starts. What is the problem opportunity that you are tackling? What is your enemy out there?
So there's actually two-pronged enemy. The first is veterans or active duty who are transitioning out who believe they have the tiger by the tail. And when they get out, they realize, oh, it's not the same as when I was in and I was told what to do and I'm wearing a uniform and I don't have the money in the bank to be able to succeed or survive for a year before I find a job. So those folks who fall in those cracks, we help them with technology. We actually provide a computer for them to be able to get online and create resumes. We give some training here in Richmond, Virginia, basic computer literacy training, and we're branching out into more. Probably within the next year, we have partnered with a company to do that. But the other part that we do is it's unwritten because we don't want to become a therapy company or a counseling company, but we are trying to desperately impact the 22 a day who commit suicide. And then the active duty transitioning out, there's 5 a day who commit suicide. And that number's growing because of the way the world is and not knowing what you're going to get when you get into the civilian world. Right. I don't know about you, Michael, but when I got out, I twisted in the wind. I didn't know what I was doing. And it took me a long time to find the veteran community and to realize, hey, I am a brother and I have brothers and sisters out there who can help me and can talk to me, and we talk the same language and we joke with each other and all of that. So that's our mission, is to help the in-need active duty transition, the veteran who's been homeless, the Vietnam vet who's been living under a bridge for 15 years, and those getting out with technology to help them survive.
Fantastic. And folks, we're talking with Mark Casper at tech4troops.org. Be sure to check out tech4troops.org. And you can see this full interview, by the way, as a member of our 5P Inner Circle. Now, we were talking about this before, about how veterans coming out, right? When we come out, there's the whole veterans. Let's say, for instance, you need to be able to find fellowship that's out there. And there are veterans from a whole background, different wars, different generations. And we're all seen by the greater public as veteran. And what I love about your organization in helping out the 22 a day, thank you and God bless you for doing so. But as you're doing this, you're looking to all of the generations of veterans saying, hey, look, here's another pocket of fellowship where you can come together. And I have found that to be the biggest thing in my veteran transition is, okay, I'm out of the Marine Corps now. There are other veterans that served in different pockets of the military. They're spread all throughout the U.S., and they're focused onto a new mission, whatever that mission may be. For me, I sought other entrepreneurs, and it aligns even better when other entrepreneurial types have that shared veteranhood. And so being able to build your tribe off of that is freaking huge. Folks, check out techfortroops.org and tell us now, Mark, what is the mission statement at hand? Could you give us an impromptu mission statement?
I do. So really, we take your needs, your technology, your e-waste, and we turn it into training, technology, and an education for in-need veterans and their families. So if you're a vet and you get out and you active duty transitioning out, doesn't make a difference, and you get out and you have 3 kids, you're making $15 an hour, and you can't afford a computer for your kids to go to school, we can help you with that as well. And I look at it this way: when I was in school, and this is a long time ago, I was that guy in the back row. I always was. It's just who it was. That was me. But today, we don't want kids to do that. With COVID going on, it's more important to bridge the digital divide, and that's what we do. So our mission is to provide for those in-need veterans and their families to get online, create resumes, find jobs, and finish their schoolwork.
Freaking excellent. I know what it was like coming back out of the military and struggling with all of the high technology stuff that was going on. You know, it's funny because from the time I stepped on the yellow footprints to the time I got out the back gate, DD-214 in hand, our gear set changed so much. Even in the Marine Corps, the smallest budget and all of this other stuff, our gear set changed so much. Technology outside changed incredibly fast. In between deployments, I was carrying a giant case of DVDs and CDs, and then it was a hard drive, and then it was, oh, okay, now I've got my iPod kind of deal, right? But the thing that I tell folks is the consistency was right with 5P. It was the same method all the way through our time in service. That was the consistency associated with it. And that's some of the consistency that I find with Tech for Troops, where you have the ability to share in that veteran bond. You know, old breed, young breed, doesn't make a damn bit of difference so long as it's the Marine breed. And we have that consistency associated with it. There are folks that are out there that are tech gurus that were writing code when we were shoulder to shoulder, who now can help me out when I go to techfortroops.org and I get that piece of technology. I have brethren out there that I can call on because, look, I'm code illiterate. I'm the hardware type guy where I actually built the machine that this is being recorded on right now.
Right.
Coding it, I can't do it. So we need to have each other as a mutually beneficial relationship. So check out techfortroops.org. This is fantastic. So all right, we're going to get into the execution paragraph on this one. What you're saying is that you're taking technology, which would otherwise be, to an extent, recycled, right?
Thrown in the trash.
Thrown in the trash, and then you're turning that back into gold. So could you explain how you go about that?
Yep. So we contact and we have corporate sponsors and individuals, and they send us stuff. They give us stuff. They knock on our door. They ring our doorbell and say, hey, I got computers for you. And of course, we triage it like we do in the military or in the medical side of the military, actually both. Is it e-waste? Is it straight up, do we recycle it and get a few pennies for it, right? Because light steel, the Goldfinger cards, the hard drive, all of that has aluminum, platinum, titanium, and gold and silver and everything else in it. So if it's really old, it goes into one spot. If it's middle of the road, we actually refurb it up to a point. If it's too broken, we'll sell it online for parts and pieces. So we go to eBay, our eBay shop, and we sell a lot of laptops that are pretty much crushed, worthless, and somebody's going to throw them in the trash. We'll get $10, $12, $6 for it, whatever it is, whatever somebody's paying to help us. And then, of course, the best stuff, the what we call i5s or i7s, that's the CPU, the brain of the computer. It's faster, it's better, it's more up to date. That actually gets given to the vet. So we have definite ways of doing things and how we do it. And we make sure that the veteran gets the better stuff. And almost, unless they don't care, almost every laptop we send out has a camera, so they can do this with their brothers and sisters around the world.
Excellent. Oh man, that's fantastic.
Yep.
Heck yeah, communication, being able to stay connected when you want to stay connected is fantastic, right?
Yep.
You know, we want technology to work for us at that moment in time. I'm the guy who uses a cell phone and burns it to death, and then, you know, the one day that it doesn't work for me, I'm a little upset by it, right?
Of course.
But communication when you need it obviously is key.
Yep.
So that is huge. Now, moving into this though, as far as if, let's say for instance, I wanted to get rid of a bunch of technology. Do I go to techfortroops.org to get rid of that stuff?
Absolutely. So we have a contact us page. Send me an email because I'll get it. We're a small organization. We have 7 people working right now. Actually 6. One guy he's going to Q school. He was a Marine. He's going into the Army Green Beret, so he's going to call school and at Bragg. So that's what we do. We only hire vets as well. We have one, I should say this, we have one non-vet who helps start our eBay for us. But everybody else that we hire is only a vet, and we give them the tools too. They can get a better job. But yeah, go to contact us page, call me on the desk phone, leave a message, talk to me. Facebook as well. I don't do Twitter. One of my guys does. How else? LinkedIn. I'm huge on LinkedIn. I got well over 2,000 followers, which is not a lot, but to me that's a lot.
Right. People connecting with you.
Yeah. Send me a message, you know, one of those social media platforms, and we'll get back in touch with you.
There you go. I'm big on LinkedIn also, so I appreciate that. We communicate over LinkedIn. This is where a lot of executive levels communicate over, you know, especially because we don't want to deal with the distraction of what would otherwise be out there on other social media. So check out Mark Casper, right? And you can see his name right here. If you're listening to us on the podcast, be sure to check out the show notes to get the proper spelling. Go to LinkedIn, check out Mark Casper, go check out techfortroops.org. If you want to see this full interview in its full length, uninterrupted, be sure to join the 5P Inner Circle. It starts at 5paragraph.com. You'll get a free book. You'll get a free 30-day trial. In order to see all of these long-form interviews, there's tons of valuable insights coming out of here. So that's how folks can connect with you. All right, I'm going to ask you kind of a side curveball, let's call it that, question a little bit here. Along this journey, as you've been growing techfortroops.org, and I know that this has been hard, what has been the most humbling moment for you in growing techfortroops.org? What's been the most humbling moment?
Well, I would go with 2. The first time that we shipped a computer out or trained a vet and gave them a computer, and they came back and said, I got a job. That almost made me cry. Right?
Amen.
It was an amazing feeling that, yeah, this works. And then the second one was we received a check for $300 from somebody we've never met before who donated to us in the name of their father, who was a veteran who was served in World War II. And they heard about Tech for Troops and donated in his name to us. It was just like this. It was a expletive moment.
Right.
I'll use that. Okay. It was a
God
holy
bless
moment.
You. Yeah.
Right. And it was that humbled me that somebody actually thought of Tech for Troops to help us out in that way. So helping folks get jobs is beyond. But then somebody else saying, here's a check for $300, and they can. I'm still, you know, emotionally on that.
That's so fair. That right there, people, is adding value to the world. That's good,
Yes,
orderly direction working in your life. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Mark, I so appreciate that about you. I so appreciate the fact that you're adding value, and you're adding value laser precision. Because here's the thing, and this is the hard line for some veterans that are out there. If you are destitute, techfortroops.org is for you. All right? If you're out there and you're just looking for a new computer, wrong place to go. Techfortroops.org is adding value to people's lives and enabling them, empowering them to turn their own life in the direction that they need to go in order to be able to add value in that new journey. Okay, so techfortroops.org. You guys freaking rock. You're adding value to the world. Go ahead, pick up your techfortroops.org swag, right, while you're over there. And thank you so much for sending over the coffee cup. I pulled this out of my dishwasher this morning, Mark. All right, that's how much use we get over here out of that stuff.
Thank you.
Because I want you to know you're right here and you have an adjacent unit.
Yeah. And eventually we're going to get you up here. We'll do it face-to-face, and it's going to be a great time.
Excellent. Folks, go ahead, subscribe, rate, review the podcast, link up with Mark Casper, link up with techfortroops.org. Be sure to reach out to Mark Casper. He is a fantastic individual who's adding value to the world, and that's why we wanted to have him here on the 5P podcast. Thank you, Mark, for joining us.
Thank you, Michael, for having me, and it's very humbling to be on your podcast. It really is. I'm not blowing smoke on that one. This is awesome. It feels good. It feels really good.
Excellent. Fantastic. Folks, if you're listening, subscribe, rate, review the podcast. If you're watching all of our clips, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be sure to share these clips with your friends. And remember, you can get the full-length interview inside of the 5P Inner Circle. It starts at 5paragraph.com. Get a free book, get a free trial, check it out, and see the value that we can add to your organization. Folks, I really, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate each and every one of you listening, reaching out. We appreciate your comments, your suggestions. Thank you, and keep them coming. Until next time, take care and be well.